In the previous modules of this second week of our MOOC, dedicated to the concept of error, we explored its definition and classification. We also examined the distinction between monogenetic and polygenetic errors, as well as the difference between conjunctive and separative leading errors. We now turn to another fundamental concept in philological scholarship, the notion of variant. Distinguishing between variants and errors is crucial for understanding both the history and structure of a text. While both may appear as deviation from an original version or between different sources, their nature and role in textual criticism are profoundly different. A variant is an alternative reading of a given passage, preserved in one or more sources. Unlike errors, variants are not the result of mistakes. Many of them reflect different stages in the composition, revision, or transmission of a work. Variants are particularly significant in the context of authorial philology, which focuses on texts that the author actively revised or reworked. In such cases, we speak of authorial variants, changes introduced by the author that reflect the evolving and dynamic nature of the creative process. The changes may result from rewritings, corrections, or deliberate choices made at different moments. Each version, therefore, represents a meaningful expression of the author's intent at a specific stage. In these cases, the philologist's task is not to recover a single definitive version of the text, but rather to trace the evolution of the author's intentions. This involves analyzing and comparing different forms of the text to reconstruct its creative development. The key distinction between variants and errors lies in the authorial intention behind the change and its function within textual criticism. Variants carry interpretive weight and must be evaluated with an eye to the broader dynamics of composition and revision. They are not inherently incorrect and should not be corrected automatically. Rather, they are alternative readings that require careful interpretation. Errors, by contrast, are unintended deviations that must typically be amended, as they represent faulty forms of the text. That is why, in textual reconstruction, errors are usually corrected, unless preserved for documentation purposes, while variants must be interpreted, contextualized, and understood within the framework of the textual tradition and possible authorial intention. To summarize, errors help us understand how texts were copied and how different witnesses relate to one another. Variants, on the other hand, reveal how a text evolved. They document its development, reinterpretation, and at times, its revision. Both are essential to the philologist's work, but each calls for different tools and critical approaches, depending on the nature of the text and the tradition under examination.